Okay, so basically function notation is, instead of having a y equals, we're going to put f of x. So y equals, it basically describes a graph as well as f of x, or g of x, or h of x. Basically, it's describing a graph. One thing that's helpful about function notation though is it's telling us that x is the variable that it's corresponding to. Okay, so y would be your your dependent variable, x is your independent variable. And so it's showing that x is the variable that we're going to plug into this function. Okay, so let's just take a look. We're basically learning in this lesson how to apply function notation, how to replace the x with different numbers or different expressions. So we have f of x is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 5, and we just have to apply the function notation. So the first one says f of 2. So if we take a look at the original function, what is inside the brackets? An x. What is now inside the brackets? 2. So what do you think all these x's are going to be replaced with? 2's. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to plug in 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 5. And then we just evaluate. Okay, so we got 4 plus 8 plus 5, 17. Okay, now there's a 2 in front of the f of x. So what does f of x equal? Equals this right here, x squared plus 4x plus 5. Now there's a 2 in front of there, so what do you think we have to do to all of this? Good, multiply by 2. So we have 2 multiplied by x squared plus 4x plus 5. And then we just distribute the 2. Okay, so multiply that through each term, and we get 2x squared plus 8x plus 10. How are we doing so far? Any questions? No? Okay, next one. What is x replaced by? Yeah, 2x. Okay, so we're just going to sub every x with a 2x. And then we have to evaluate. So we got 4x squared plus 8x plus 5. So the next one says f of x minus 2. You're going to take your original function, and then at the end, you're going to subtract. Question over there?
Yeah, how'd you get 4x squared?
Because 2 squared is 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you have to square everything that's inside the brackets.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff. Okay, so for the next one, we have to subtract 2 from the function. So I'm just going to write what the function is. X squared plus 4x plus 5. It's the function, and then we're subtracting 2. So which term is that going to affect? 5. Just the constant. We have x squared plus 4x, 5 minus 2, we get positive 3. Okay, going back to the original again, we started with f of x. Now it says f of x minus 2. What was that x replaced with? X minus 2. So now these x's also are replaced with x minus 2. Okay, so we get x minus 2 all squared plus 4 times x minus 2 plus 5. What's the difference between x minus 2 squared and when we expand 2x squared? What's the difference between 2x and x minus 2? One's a binomial, one's just a single term. Okay, a monomial. So in this case, if you don't know how to shortcut squaring a binomial, make sure that you expand it. So x minus 2 times x minus 2, and then fully FOIL that out. Okay, so we get x squared minus 2x minus another 2x is minus 4x, and plus 4. Then we have to distribute in the second term, so 4 times x, 4x. 4 times -2, -8. And then we're adding the 5 at the end. Can we clean things up? So -4x, +4x, those will cancel out. And 4 minus 8 plus 5, we should get +1. So we are left with x squared plus 1. And last one, x is being replaced with -x. I'm going to get you guys to try this on your own, and then we'll see how you do. Now because this is the beginning of the year, how's my pace? Am I going too quick, or is it alright? Xander? What's that? Okay, if you get this, you're wrong. This is incorrect. What should I be very careful about with negatives? I should use brackets. Because then when I'm squaring a negative, negative times negative is actually positive. Okay, so be very careful with your negatives. Now it is correct. So you should end up with x squared minus 4x plus 5. So do you guys feel like you have a pretty good handle? Okay, I'm going to let you work in your little pairs or whatever, and you're going to basically try and match the following expression with a matching function. And actually, let's do this. Let's have, do it all. Okay, so figure out what number matches with A, what number matches with B, what number matches with C, what number matches with D.
I asked you because I did.
Okay. Maybe you didn't hear the part at first. Okay, you guys are gonna figure out what matches up with 1.
Okay.
You're gonna figure out what matches up with 2. So we're on example number 8. We're just doing a little matching here. You guys are gonna figure out what matches with 3. Sure.
Oh, I just figured
Where would you like me to write? Or just
Yeah, just draw a line to where they connect. Is that one not working?
No, it's good.
Okay.
You're wrong down.
Okay, we need 3 and 4. And then we'll see how you guys did. I guess by elimination, hopefully that one's correct. Yay. Okay, so if you read the question, you realize that the function is x cubed. We have to figure out, using the function notation, how is the expression going to look. So if we had, number 1, f of x plus 5, then we should have our function, x, is replaced with, now, x plus 5. So this x is replaced with x plus 5. Got it correct. Nice. So 1 is matched up with b. Very good. Okay, number 2, who did that one?
Oh,
You did good. Don't worry. Okay, so we have x is replaced with 5x, and in this case it is, so yes, 2 is D. Excellent. Number 3, basically we have our function, and then we're adding 5. So x cubed was our function, then we're adding 5. So 3 is A. And then lastly, good job, Ben.
Job done.
Okay, so our x is replaced with a 5 here as well. Our x was replaced with 5, so very good. 4 shows us C. Awesome. Okay, so next up we have an absolute value function. So f of x is equal to the absolute value of x. And we have to write these expressions in function notation. So just to be clear, the function is f of x is equal to the absolute value of x. How would I write this in function notation? I'll show you the first one. Okay. Is this the same as this?
Yes.
And what does this equal? F of x. So what could I replace this with? F of x. Good. And then I subtract 4. That's now in function notation. So you're basically looking at what does the function equal and what is happening to it. Okay? Now here we had, for the next one, we had the absolute value of x. What is different here? What's happened? Plus 3. So what would go inside the function notation? X plus 3. So here we have f of x plus 3. And was there this minus 2 before? No, so we have to make sure in function notation that we put subtract 2. Okay, Booker, what's the difference between this one and this one?
Coefficient.
Good. So how would I write that in function notation? Any guesses?
2 and then f of x.
Perfect. 2 times f of x. And then lastly, the x from the original function has been replaced with 2x, so it's just f of 2x. Voila. So any questions about function notation so far? We are going to be using this a lot this unit, so if you have questions you can also ask later on.